My family laughed when I said I was fine being single, and I laughed too, to keep the night from splitting open. It was my 32nd birthday, a Sunday in late August, the house smelling like buttercream and grilled corn. Mom had strung fairy lights on the patio again, little warm moons above our heads. My sister, Dita, pressed a paper crown onto my hair and said, "Queen of Independence," and the cousins clapped a little too loudly. It sounded like a joke we had all agreed to tell. "Speech," Dad said, lifting his iced tea. "Tell us your plan." "The next 5 years." "Work," I said. "Save. Breathe. Maybe learn pottery." "Pottery," Dita said. "Cute. Men love vases." Laughter again, easy and bright, like the ice in the pitcher. I smiled with my mouth and kept my shoulders loose. I've learned that when you live alone, people think you're unfinished. They think you are a room waiting for furniture. From the grill, my brother-in-law called, "I can set you up with a friend, just say the word." "I'm good," I said. "Too picky," Aunt Lila whispered to Mom, "not quiet enough." I cut the cake. Vanilla layers. My name in cursive blue. While I sliced, Mom kissed my cheek and said, "We just want you to be cared for." "I am," I said. "I take care of me." She smiled the way people smile when they don't believe you. It was the same smile I saw in the mirror a year ago when I left Adrian, the man I almost married. He'd promised me a future and then hid debts like dust under rugs. I packed 2 boxes and left a ring in a dish. He said, "You'll be back." I said nothing. I didn't go back. Now, the patio door slid open, and a late breeze lifted the balloons. I was about to serve the first slice when I heard a voice I hadn't heard in a year. "Happy birthday, Maya." Every fork paused. Adrian stood in the doorway, clean haircut, shirt tucked in, holding a gift bag with tissue paper like white flames. I forgot to breathe. The bag was navy with gold stars, the kind my mom keeps for weddings. Mom's hands went to her mouth. Dad looked at Mom. Dita lifted her phone, reflexively, like she was about to record a prank. My cousins made a sound that wasn't quite a gasp. "I didn't invite him," I said, "to the room, to the night." Adrian smiled like a man walking into a meeting he knew he would win. "Your mother mentioned you might appreciate a surprise," he said. Mom's eyes darted. "He messaged me last week," she said, small voice. "I thought, maybe you two could talk. Just talk." "You told him he could come here?" I asked, not loud, but the quiet landed heavy. "We miss how you laughed with him," she said. "You were softer." "I was smaller," I said. Adrian stepped to the table, set the bag beside the candles. "I'm different now," he said. "I've grown. I have something to show you, too." The cousins edged in, curious. Dita put her phone down, watching him like TV. Dad's jaw worked, like he was chewing a problem. I hooked my finger under the paper crown and pulled it off. "You shouldn't be here," I said. He lowered his voice. "Just open the gift." "No," I said. He glanced at my family like they were his jury. "Then I will." He reached for the tissue paper, fingers already inside the bag. I felt the night tilt. The fairy lights hummed. The cake knife was warm in my hand. And then he lifted something from the bag, something that made my mother step back and my father curse under his breath, a manila folder, thick, bulging with papers clipped and dated. "Let me explain," Adrian said. I looked at the folder, at my family's faces, at the crown lying on the table like a joke that had finished telling itself. "Explain," I said, and my voice didn't shake. He opened the folder, and I saw my own name on the top page, bold and underlined. That was when I knew the night would not stay polite. He slid the folder toward me, the way a dealer slides cards in a bad game. My name stared back, Maya Evelyn Hart, printed above neat columns of numbers. What is this? I asked. Adrian clasped his hands. Proof that I've changed, he said. And that I owe you. Dad frowned. Owe her. For what? Adrian looked at me. For what I took. I wanted to laugh. You mean what you hid, I said. He didn't deny it. I've paid it all back. Every cent from the joint account. With interest. Look. The cousins leaned closer, hungry for drama. Dita whispered, wait, what account? I flipped through the papers. Bank statements. Transactions from 2 years ago. His name, my name. Balances, withdrawals. One column marked, transfer. I remembered those transfers, small at first, then larger, always, for bills, for us. When I left, I walked away with the clothes I bought myself. Now the numbers told me he'd repaid it all, quietly, in monthly deposits to an old account I'd forgotten existed. There was more money there now than I'd ever seen in my life. What are you doing, Adrian? I said. He smiled, half proud, half rehearsed. I wanted to prove I'm not the man I was. I thought, maybe if your family saw this, they'd understand. Understand what? I asked. That I deserve another chance. The silence stretched. The fairy lights buzzed like insects. My father's chair scraped back. This is your idea of romance. Ambush her. Parade her bank balance. Adrian held his ground. It's not about money. It's about responsibility. Mom said softly, he came here because he still loves you. I turned to her. You invited him because you can't imagine me without someone. Her eyes watered. You used to sing in the kitchen when he was around. I can sing alone, I said. Dita cleared her throat. Maya, come on. He's apologizing. People can change. I looked at my sister, the golden child, married young, 2 kids, a mortgage, the family portrait on Mom's mantle. You think being married makes you safe? I asked. It doesn't. Her lips tightened. At least I'm not afraid to try. That stung, sharper than it should have. The old ache came back, the sense that my choices made everyone uncomfortable, that my independence was an accusation they never voiced. Adrian took a step closer. I'm here because I still care. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry for what I did. But I've built something good now. I can take care of you. Take care of me, I repeated. Or fix your guilt. He hesitated. Both, maybe. The sky had turned violet, the air thick with the smell of frosting and grilled corn going cold. My pulse felt too loud. Mom whispered, just listen to him. I did, I said. For 3 years. Adrian reached for my hand. Reflexively, I pulled back. The old reflex of distance. I saw it, something flickered behind his calm, a flash of annoyance, the man who once called me ungrateful for asking to share decisions. And then I noticed something else. On the last page of the folder, beyond the bank statements, there was a printout I didn't recognize. A letterhead from a law office. What's this? I asked. He looked too calm. Something I think you'll want to read. I pulled the page free. It was a copy of my late Aunt Nora's will, the one who'd passed 2 years ago. The aunt who'd left me her house by the lake. Except, the signature at the bottom wasn't mine. It was Adrian's. My stomach dropped. You forged my signature. He smiled faintly. Borrowed it, he said. To handle the paperwork while you were emotional. Dad shot to his feet. You did what? Adrian's smile faltered. It's legal now. I made sure everything stayed in the family. You mean your name, I said. Dita blinked. Wait, you own Aunt Nora's house. He looked at her. Technically, yes. But I'm willing to transfer it back. If Maya and I can start over. My breath caught. You used my grief to steal from me. He shrugged. I called it protecting what you didn't care about. Mom's hands were trembling. Adrian, you can't. He raised his palm. It's done. But it can be undone. Tonight. I stared at him, at the folder, at my family's faces bending between guilt and disbelief. Undo it, I said. I will, he said. If you give me a reason. The night folded in on itself. I felt the weight of every year I'd spent being polite, being the good daughter, being patient. And then, for the first time, I realized, this wasn't just about love anymore. It was about ownership. And I wasn't about to lose twice. That night, after everyone left, I couldn't sleep. The patio lights were still hanging, swaying in the quiet. The house smelled of melted wax and sweet icing. My family had gone to bed without really saying goodbye. Even Mom's hug had felt uncertain, like she didn't know whose side to take. I sat at the dining table with the folder open in front of me. My name, my aunt's name, the fake signature. Every page screamed betrayal, and not just from Adrian, from my own family for letting him back into our home. My phone buzzed. A message from Dita. He was wrong, but maybe he meant well. I stared at it for a long time, then turned the phone face down. That's when I noticed something odd in the folder. A second envelope, thin and unmarked, tucked behind the bank papers. Inside was a receipt, from a law firm in town, dated just 2 weeks ago. The service listed, asterisk, transfer of deed, Lakeview property. Asterisk. The signature at the bottom was fresh. Adrian's again. He hadn't borrowed my signature 2 years ago. He'd been changing the ownership again, recently. Without telling me. Something inside me went very still. I needed proof, real proof, not just suspicions. So the next morning, I called the law firm. The receptionist sounded polite until I said my name. Maya Hart, I said. I'm calling about a deed transfer done by a Mr. Adrian Blake. Oh, yes, she said carefully. Let me check. Yes, that transaction was completed recently. Are you his wife? My throat tightened. No. I'm the rightful owner. And I never authorized it. A pause. Would you like to speak with the attorney who handled it? Yes, I said. 10 minutes later, a tired male voice came on the line. This is Ethan Cole. I handled that file. Can you verify your date of birth, Miss Hart? I did. Silence. Then a soft exhale. I was wondering when you'd call, he said. That signature wasn't right. I gripped the phone. You noticed. I flagged it, he said. But your ex insisted you'd approved it remotely. Said you were traveling. Your mother even confirmed your identity. I closed my eyes. My mother. She said you were in Bali. I hadn't left the country in years. Ethan's voice lowered. Look, I can't officially accuse anyone, but you should probably see this in person. There's a paper trail. Can I come today? Anytime after 3, he said. When I hung up, I just sat there, staring at my reflection in the dark window. My family had mocked me for being single, for walking away from a man who lied. And now, they'd helped him steal from me, because it was easier to believe him than me. At 3 sharp, I drove to the law office downtown. Ethan was younger than I expected, maybe mid-30s, with rolled-up sleeves and eyes that looked like they'd seen too many messy divorces. He handed me a file with my name on it. "Here," he said. "Copies of everything. And this," he pulled out a small USB drive, "is the recorded call we're required to keep when someone confirms a remote authorization." I hesitated. "Recorded call?" He nodded. "It's your mother's voice. I recognized it from when she came with Adrian. She said she was acting on your behalf." I felt cold. My own mother had signed me away, my name, my inheritance, because she believed Adrian was still my future. Ethan watched my face. "You okay?" "No," I said. "But thank you." "Be careful," he said quietly. "Guys like that don't apologize, they negotiate." That night, I sat in my car outside my parents' house, listening to the audio file through my phone. Mom's voice, soft and certain, "Yes, this is Maya's consent. She trusts Adrian to handle the documents." And then Adrian, calm, professional, lying with ease. "She's just not comfortable signing online herself." I pressed pause. My hands were shaking. They'd both done it, out of love, fear, or habit, I didn't know. But they'd made me invisible. Again. I looked at my reflection in the car mirror and made a quiet promise: I would take back what was mine, and this time, I wouldn't ask for permission. As I stepped out of the car, I saw the warm glow from the kitchen window. Mom's shadow moved across the curtain. I almost turned away, but then I noticed something: Adrian's silhouette, standing right behind her. He was back in the house. My pulse kicked up. He wasn't done. Neither was I. I walked up the driveway, each step slower than the last. The air felt thick, like it was waiting to hear what I'd say. Through the kitchen window, I could see my mom at the table and Adrian standing beside her, sleeves rolled up, casual, like he belonged there again. A coffee mug sat in front of him. My father was in the background, arms crossed, pretending to read a newspaper. I opened the door. "We need to talk," I said. Mom looked up, startled. "Maya, honey, we were just discussing me." I finished. Perfect timing. Adrian smiled faintly. "You've always had good timing." I ignored him. "Mom, why did you tell the law office you were me?" Her lips parted. "What?" I pulled the folder from my bag and dropped it on the table. "The recording says otherwise." She blinked fast. "He said it was just paperwork. That you were fine with it. You believed him over me." I asked. Dad lowered his newspaper slowly. His face hardened as he looked at her. "You did what?" Mom's voice broke. "I just wanted to help. He said it was too complicated for you, that you were too emotional," I said. "That's what he always says." Adrian stepped forward. "Maya, calm down. You're twisting this." "No," I said. "You are." I took the USB drive from my pocket and set it on the table. "This is the recording. You can all listen later. But I'm not here to argue, I'm here to end this." Dad pushed his chair back. "You forged her signature, Adrian." Adrian's jaw tightened. "I finalized what she left unfinished. The property needed care. Taxes. Renovations. I did what she couldn't. With my inheritance," I said. "Without my consent." He exhaled slowly, shifting his weight like a lawyer rehearsing his defense. "It's still in the family. I didn't sell it. Yet," I said. For a second, no one spoke. The only sound was the clock ticking near the pantry. Then Dad said, "You're leaving this house. Now." Adrian's face changed. The polite mask cracked just slightly. "You can't tell me what to do." "I just did," Dad said. Adrian turned to me. "Maya, you don't understand how much I've done for you." "Really?" I said. "Then you'll understand this too." I opened the second envelope Ethan had given me, a notarized declaration stating the signature was fraudulent. "You'll be hearing from the county office by Monday. I've already filed a complaint. Your transfer's frozen." His eyes flickered, something dark surfacing beneath the calm. "You went to a lawyer?" "Yes," I said. "A real one." He took a step closer, voice dropping. "You don't want this fight, Maya. You already started it." For a moment, we just stared at each other, the man who once said he loved me, and the woman who finally stopped believing it. Then Mom spoke, voice trembling. "Adrian, please. You should go." He turned to her, betrayal flashing in his eyes. "You invited me back." "I didn't invite this," she said. He looked around the room one last time, his pride bleeding into anger. "You'll regret this," he said to me. "That house won't fix you." "I don't need fixing," I said quietly. "I need peace." He slammed his mug into the sink hard enough to make everyone flinch, then walked out the door. The silence afterward was sharp, like glass cooling. Mom sat down slowly, her face pale. "I thought he was trying to make things right." "I know," I said, softer now. "But you can't fix people who lie for a living." Dad put a hand on my shoulder. For once, he didn't say anything wise or distant. Just a small squeeze, a quiet apology. I picked up the folder, the USB drive, and the papers. "I'll be gone a few days," I said. "There's one more thing I need to do." Mom looked up. "Where?" "The lake house," I said. "I want to see what he's done." As I turned to leave, she whispered, "Be careful." I nodded, my hand on the doorknob. "Don't worry. I'm done being careful." Outside, the night smelled like rain. The porch light hummed. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled across the hills. And in my chest, for the first time in a long time, I felt something steady, like the calm before a clean break. I drove toward the lake, headlights cutting through the dark, not knowing what waited for me there. But when I arrived, I saw the windows glowing, faintly golden. Someone was already inside. The gravel crunched under my tires as I pulled up to the old lake house. Every memory I had of this place came rushing back. Summer mornings with Aunt Nora's laughter, the sound of her radio playing jazz, the scent of lemon tea drifting through the open window. Now, the curtains were drawn. Light flickered inside, soft and slow, like a fire or a lamp left on too long. I stepped out quietly, the air cool against my skin. The lake glimmered behind the trees, silver and endless. My heart thudded as I reached the porch. The door creaked when I pushed it open. Inside, the house was changed. New furniture, clean rugs, a faint trace of cologne I recognized too well. Adrian's cologne. On the table sat another folder, this one smaller, sealed with tape. A note lay on top, written in his sharp handwriting. "For you. I won't fight anymore." For a long moment, I didn't move. I half expected him to step out from the shadows, smirking, rehearsing another apology. But the house was still. I peeled the tape and opened the folder. Inside were the transfer papers, newly signed, by him this time, returning full ownership to me. The legal stamp was fresh, dated that morning. At the bottom, a single line written in pen. Asterisk, you win. I'm tired of pretending. Asterisk. I sank into Aunt Nora's old chair, the one she used to read in. My breath finally evened out. There was no triumph in it, just quiet relief. The kind that comes after a storm when the trees stop shaking. On the mantel, the ceramic vase I made last summer still stood. It had a hairline crack from the move, one I never got around to fixing. I traced it with my thumb and smiled faintly. When I went into the kitchen, I found one last thing, a small box beside the sink. Inside was a set of house keys. My keys. He'd left them behind. I walked outside to the porch, the keys clinking softly in my palm. The sun was rising over the lake, painting the water gold. I could hear the loons calling from across the shore, and for the first time in years, the sound didn't make me lonely. I sat on the steps and called my mother. She answered on the second ring. Her voice was small. Maya. I got the house back, I said. She exhaled. Thank God. I'm sorry for everything. I know, I said. You wanted to protect me. You just forgot I could do it myself. She was quiet for a while. Are you coming home? I am home, I said softly, looking at the lake. Before we hung up, she whispered, I'm proud of you. I put the phone down and watched the sunlight stretch across the water. The anger that had lived in me for so long finally loosened its grip. I didn't need revenge, not the loud kind, anyway. Just truth, returned quietly to its place. I went inside, found one of Aunt Nora's blank journals, and wrote a single line on the first page. Peace looks like this. Then I set the keys on the counter, opened all the windows, and let the breeze move through every room. The house creaked softly, almost like it was breathing again. As I watched the light fall across the floorboards, I realized something simple and steady. I wasn't broken for being single. I wasn't less without someone beside me. I was whole, finally, and free to build a life that belonged only to me. If this story touched you, share your thoughts below. And subscribe for more stories of quiet revenge.